or that you are maintaining your... Hey, 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 can you not? Excuse me. Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. It has been a hot freaking minute because your girl has been busy. But today I am coming to you with another YouTube video, and today's going to be an informational video, but it's also probably going to answer a question that some of you might be having, especially if you're a client. And the question that I'm going to be answering today is, do you have to track macros forever? And the answer is no. No, you don't. In my opinion, no. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the point of tracking macros. And the reasons that I think you should track macros are the following. To reach a specific goal, whether that be fat loss, muscle gain, maintain your weight, have a better relationship with food. Second one is to understand how to fuel your body better, to see what types of food, what kind of food, how much food that you need specifically in order to reach your specific goal. 3, to get a better idea of portion sizes. One of the best things about macro tracking is that you can literally see the exact portion size. Exactly what it says on the nutrition label, you can portion it out and plug that in, and you know exactly what the portion size is. Because a lot of times I feel like people, like for peanut butter for example, they'll take a spoon into the peanut butter jar and they'll be like, well, this is 2 tablespoons, and in reality it's like 4 tablespoons, and that's a lot of fat. And the last reason I think that it's important to track macros is it allows you to have a controlled diet while also being flexible inside that diet. So if you have a specific goal like fat loss, the diet is controlled enough, but it's also flexible enough to where you can still enjoy foods that you love while still reaching the goals that you want to reach. So like I said, the general answer is no. No, you do not have to track macros for the rest of your life. However, this does kind of differ from person to person and from life situation to life situation. For example, if you're a bikini competitor or you just compete in general, it's probably a good idea to track for a good amount of time. Maybe not so much in the off season. I'm not a bikini competitor or anything like that, so I have no idea what goes into that. But I know that those people have to be a little bit more strict, a little bit more specific with their diet. So tracking macros all the time is probably a good idea. But for your average Joe like me, it's probably not the best thing ever to try to track macros for the rest of your life, just because for a few of the reasons that I'm going to list in a second. Because you just get burnt out on it, you know? You just get tired of it. You know, I love being accountable, and I love having somebody to keep me accountable, something to keep me accountable, but I don't feel the need to track macros forever. A lot of times people only really need to track macros once for a certain specific amount of time, and they got it down. They got everything that they needed from that time of tracking macros. They have the knowledge that they need, they have the confidence that they need, and that's all. But then again, some people, they just love numbers. They love, it's like a game to them, you know? They get to plug it in, and they get to like portion out their food and weigh their food, and then it's already ready to go all the time. They don't have to think about it. So for me, that was me for a while. I really enjoyed tracking macros. It was a game to me. It was like every single day I got to choose like what food I wanted to fuel my body the best, or what food I wanted to like fit in that was fun or something. And it was really fun for me, and I really enjoyed it. But I did that for like 3 years, and I think after you do something for 3 years consistently, you kind of have a good idea of how to do it. Another question that I think is asked a lot in regards to should I track macros forever is, most people when they go to track macros, it's obviously for a specific goal, and most of the time it's for weight loss, because that's the most controlled way to diet. So people go to track macros to lose that weight, and then they're afraid to stop tracking macros because they're like, well, tracking macros is how I lost the weight, so what happens if I stop tracking? I'm just going to go back to doing what I did before. Not the truth. And it's not the truth only if you don't let it be the truth. I got a really good idea of how to do it. You do it every single day, you meal prep every day, you weigh all your food out, you track all your food, you log it in the day before, you log it in before you go out to eat, You just get in the routine and you just know. Just like riding a bike, you know, you ride a bike for the first time and it's freaking hard, and then you keep riding and you keep riding and you eventually can take your hands off the handlebars, or you can stand up on the seat. Not only do you get a good idea for the macro breakdown of foods that you eat all the time, but you also get a good idea of what type of food that your body reacts to the best. Meaning, do you want to fill your day with Pop-Tarts, or do you want to fill your day with chicken, broccoli, and rice? Like, you have the choice and you have that freedom within macro tracking, but you really get to see what you feel best on. Now, I do understand that it's really scary to start tracking macros and then you lose all the weight and then you're like, I really just don't want to do this anymore. And I realize that that can be a little scary when you don't want to stop, because it holds you accountable. And so maybe it's not the right time to stop tracking for you. But I know for me, there was a certain specific time where I was like, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. And that might not happen for everybody, but I'm here to tell you that there is a time that you can stop tracking. It is not something that you have to do forever if you don't want to. And just like I mentioned, once you have a good idea of what your body needs, and you've been tracking a certain amount of macros and a certain amount of calories for a while, you know what certain foods make up that macronutrient and that calorie breakdown. So it's just kind of like, for instance, I eat a lot of the same foods every single day. So because I eat a lot of the same foods every single day, I don't really have to think about the portion size anymore, because I know exactly what it looks like because I have it every single day. And if you eat the same things every single day, which most people do, because if you think about it, how often do you really change up your meals throughout the week on a normal week? Probably not that often. So for me, it's really easy. I just already know that I'm going to have some yogurt and some cereal in my yogurt, and I know what that looks like, and I know the macro breakdown of that. But for those people who don't fall into this category, it is a good option to just take a step back. Just have a little break from tracking and go back to it in a month or so. Now, for the last thing that I want to talk about is, what is the right time for you to stop tracking macros? Now, say you just started your journey in fitness and you decided that you want to start tracking macros. You do that for a while and it's like a few months later and you're like, am I going to have to do this forever? No. In my experience, these are the signs that I knew it was time for me to stop tracking. One, I was really confident in my ability to know the fuel that my body needs, to know the macros that my body needs for my specific goal, for my specific body type. And I was confident in the portion sizes that I had. I was confident in my ability to control my food intake, and I was confident in my ability to know that I'm not going to go overboard, or if I do go overboard, it's going to be okay. It's not the end of the world. Tracking is like a budget. You get a certain amount of money that you can spend per day, or macros, and you get to choose how you spend that money. You know, you can spend it on 80% nutrient-dense foods like whole grains or vegetables, or you can have 20% fun food. And that's the second thing. You're confident in your ability to have a balanced diet. For me, a balanced diet looks like ice cream every night. And that might be the same thing for you. Balanced diet may just look like you are 90% on track through the week, and then you have a little bit of leeway on the weekends. You're not going to go all out and binge, but you're going to still have control over your diet, and you got that control through seeing your portion sizes. The third reason I knew that it was time for me to stop tracking was because I was getting stressed. After doing something for so long and being somebody who doesn't love numbers, having to plug in what I was eating all the time was just like, it was just literally a chore. Like, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to track anymore. It was almost like a robotic thing. Like, I knew what I was eating, I knew how much I was eating, but I just felt like I had to plug it into my FitnessPal anyway, and that's so not true. The number one piece of advice that I can give you is to remember that food is fuel, and you should use it as fuel. You kind of see food as just a macro. You know, you don't see food as food, or at least in my experience, doing it for 3 years, I stopped seeing food as food. I just saw it as a macro. This is a carb, this is a fat, this is what I need to make up my macros. Like, you just stop seeing food in a way that like a normal human being sees food. Kind of lose your sense of satiety. Like, you lose your sense of like, well, I'm hungry right now, I really want to eat. Or man, I'm really full right now, but I just have to finish my macros. Learn that food is not just a carb, it's not just a fat, it's not just a protein, that it's good and that you should eat it. The biggest thing that I can give you to take away is to just take everything that you learned and just bring it over into when you're not tracking, you know? Remember your portion sizes. Remember how much food you need. Remember how the food you ate when you were tracking made you feel, and just carry that over into your life. So it's really important to just carry over everything that you learned into your new life not tracking macros. So this was just a really spontaneous video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful, and I hope that if you guys are at a point in your life right now where you're just like, oh, do I have to do this forever? I hope this helps you realize that you don't have to, that macro tracking is so beneficial, but you don't have to do it forever. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will be coming at you guys with some more hopefully helpful content. So I love you guys, love God, love yourself, love people. I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.